Good day, sir. It is my Arduino project named the Automated Room Lighting and Ventilation. So before we begin on how the system works, let us first determine the components that have been used. First, we have the slide switch, which manually overrides the automation of this whole operation. Next is the temperature sensor, which basically just detects or sends the temperature of the current room. The PIR sensor, which detects movement, and the ultrasonic distance sensor, which detects a presence of an entity within the room. Now, aside from those components, I also utilize a LED light to represent a lighting of the whole room, a transistor, resistors, and an LCD display which displays the current status of the system. A gear motor have also been utilized to serve as a ventilation appliance, and lastly, the Arduino Uno, which serves as the brain of this whole operation. Now, before I show you a demonstration, both the AR sensor and ultrasonic distance sensor works hand in hand within this project. Now why? The system works when the AR sensor initially detects a movement within the room or like an entity. Since the AR sensor has its flaws that whenever an entity is in a static mode like sitting, reading, or anything that has no movement at all, it would not detect continuously. That's why the ultrasonic distance sensor have been utilized to aid these flows of the PIR. And the system works when a PIR sensor detects an entity which triggers the is occupied state of the system, and the ultrasonic distance sensor would lock on that presence or entity within the room. Now, when a presence is within the boundaries of the room, the lighting would automatically turn on, and when a temperature reach surpasses the set threshold, the gear motor would also turn on automatically. Now, when the presence walks outside of the room or there is no presence within that room, both the room lighting and the ventilation system of the room would automatically turn off. Now, a slide switch have also been utilized to manually override this automatic system. Now, let us have a demonstration on how the system works. As you can see, since there is a presence in both the PAR and the ultrasonic distance sensor, the LED light automatically turns on, which can also be seen in the LCD display that the LED is on. Now let us first move the presence outside the boundaries of both sensors. As you can see, the LED turned off. Now, if we move inside the room, the PAR sensor would trigger the is occupied, and it would automatically turn on the LED light. Just like that, since there is movement. Let us move also this to lock the presence of the room. Now, let us now check the temperature sensor. Currently, the temperature is 24.8 degrees Celsius, and the current threshold of the temperature sensor have been set to 30 degrees Celsius. If the current temperature surpasses that threshold, the gear motor would automatically turn on to indicate that the ventilation appliance automatically turns on. As you can see, since the current temperature is at 63.9 degrees Celsius, The ventilation turns on, and the gear motor also turns on, as you can see in its sides that it goes in a circular motion, and have has displayed also the current RPM of the gear motor. Now to disable this automation system to save some electricity on certain occasions, you can just simply use the slide switch to manually override this whole system. To indicate that the system has been disabled, it is simply displayed on the LCD that the system has been disabled. And as you can see, despite having presence in both the PIR sensor and the ultrasonic distance sensor, the LED light is off and the ventilation system has also been off despite the current temperature is at 63.9 degrees Celsius. Now, if we turn on it automatically, the LED light turns on and the ventilation turns on also, since both sensor detects a presence and the current temperature surpasses the threshold. So basically that's it about the automated room lighting and ventilation.